All right, guys, this is round two. Hopefully, we can finish this one here. Past 6 minutes and a half. Um, like I said, I grew up in the '80s. I was born in the late '70s. I'm 49 years old. Grew up in the '80s into the early '90s, and just really a big fan of radio and music. Big fan of radio, not TV. TV's radio is where it's at. Radio has always been that been that huge launch back in the day until MTV came around and like really fucked it all up. But it was a good time to have music because different genres of music from rock to all that other, soul, blues, all rap, all stuff like that, 1978 was a great year because the Sugar Hill Gang did Rapper's Delight, which was a monumental, monumental moment in hip hop history. And this current generation of hip hop rap artists have really pushed the envelope to a horror film genre type of rap, of reality of rap. I'm talking about cross between Boys in the Hood, New Jack City, with I would say The Omen. With The Omen. Because it's gotten to a point where you have studios that have really, like Bad Boy Records, they're not doing well. I mean, it's like going down fucking hill, And you have these underground independent labels that are bringing out great talented artists, but it's like you want to hear their lyrics, but it's like as you're reading the lyrics, it's like, yeah. It's like you're reading a lyric. It could be a script for a horror movie. You have rappers that have died mysteriously since 1987. Some have been murdered. Some have died sick, AIDS, cancer, diabetes. Heavy D had diabetes when he died. He was Easy had AIDS when he died, and but so it always seems that rappers, whether you're a male or female artist, you end up murdered as young as 15. Young Snuka, 15-year-old kid, was shot. Didn't make it to his 20th birthday. Didn't make it to his 16th birthday, 17th, 18th. The kid was 15 years old, and he was shot and killed by King Von, who met a timely, an end to himself because the guy was a monster. He was a serial killer, and it's just that really to a point that, I mean, a lot of these are influencing young fans to follow their footsteps because, like, they want to be like them. I mean, you have some rappers that are still tied to gang violence, still tied to gangs, and I remember a beef between Kumo D and LL Cool J. That was just but it wasn't really bad. But third base and third base and MC Hammer, now that was something right there. Because MC Hammer was a guy you didn't want to fuck with back in the day either. I mean, not even till this day. The guy was from Oakland, California. He ran Oakland. He still does his stuff. He was a preacher. He was a preacher for a while. But even as a preacher, you didn't want to fuck with the guy. And third base was a second white rap group. Third base, one of the guys had a cane. He had a cane during the rap videos you would see, and he was there in a chair with a cigar and a cane, and turned out to be a sword inside the cane, a katana and a cane. But a lot of these young rap artists, just really really young as 18 to 24, 17 to 24, end up dead. Some walked away because of the violence, that they didn't want to deal with that bullshit. But some chose the life, but yet still be a rapper because you can make money doing a rap album to fund your criminal empire. And there's a lot of rappers between 2010 and 2024 that have really lost their lives due to the livelihood as they lived. There was it Ki, young girl. She was 17 years old who terrorized Chicago. Only 17 years old, who lost her life in the hands of, again, King Von, who lost his life to another artist, another rapper. Because of, now it was documented that King Von was a serial killer, who outside of Chicago, who have ordered hits and did hits himself. You had was it FBG Duck? Was it FGB or FBG Duck, who was shot and killed by King Von, but through guys he paid and hired and to take him out. And you have Dursky, the Dursky dude, the guy who was another close friend of King Von outside of Chicago, who was from Atlanta, and both beat a murder rap. They both beat a murder rap. Just really. I'm watching. I'm watching rappers that have really just absolutely lost their lives over rapper legend Raps alleged serial killer exposed the evil life of Boosie. Now this is Swamp Stories.
Suja Organic Wellness Shots. What's in it for you? Benefits for days.
Lil Boosie got a lot of victims. He was a lot of people. He had a tattoo on his chest.
This is Charles White.
He's a real gangster. Like, really? Like, he's a real gangster. Wow. That's the thing that people don't realize about Boosie. Like, Boosie got like 30 to 40 around him all the time. And if you touch Boosie, something's gonna happen to you. Something's gonna happen to you.
As your friend, if you do something in the streets, he'll let the streets kill you. To maintain the street rule. That's why a lot of his friends is dead, and the dark cloud sits over his head. See, when you so down with the streets, homie, you have one of your partners kill you. Like Boosie was doing, upholding the street rule. Any man that constantly hides his eyes is not to be trusted. That's the one blow to the soul. When you look a person's eyes, man, you hiding your eyes, you hiding something. And Boosie hid his eyes a lot. He will not let you look into his eyes. He done crossed a lot of friends upholding these street rules.
This is Swamp Stories here.
Since the dawn of time, humans have been duped by charisma. Whether it's by horrible dictators, cold-blooded politicians, dangerous kingpins, or even entertainers who live a double.
Yeah, I mean, it is, you could get bamboozled by charisma of celebrity, you know. When you become a celebrity, you lose a big piece of yourself. Here, and here. Because you chose that life. You chose that life for a reason, because you thought, oh, I'm gonna live this life. I'm gonna make tons of money, have a big fucking house, you know, drive a nice Benz, you know, just until reality jacks your jaw, you know, and reality is just reality, man. Just reality, you know. Yeah.
All of these people have one thing in common. They entertain you, they make you laugh, they make you smile, and they make you overlook the awful things they've done. In this case, we cover an entertainment genius, the ultimate hustler, and most importantly, a hip-hop legend. But what if I told you there's another side to this man? Possibly an evil control freak who eliminates anyone who challenges him. A man who comes equipped with goons who will throw away their freedom for him at any moment. And finally, a man who will turn his own friends and brothers into enemies simply because they want to leave his nest. Or maybe he's just a man who had to do what was necessary to make it out of his circumstances. In this video, I won't tell you what to believe. Instead, I'm just here to lay out all of the facts. This is the crazy story of Lil Boosie, so let's dive into South Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Lil Boosie is one of those rappers that, you know, any rapper, you know, Lil Boosie.
Warning: the following video.
Tekashi 69. I mean, you have these rappers that, you know, just have a fucked up life, man. I mean, you have Tekashi 69, who's a admitted snitch. You know, he hung around with the Bloods, the New York branch of the Bloods. You know, he's Hispanic, hang out with the Blood gang. You know, and they were using him. He was making all this money, They were using him. They should have thought about that shit, because the more money he made, the longer they stay around him, because of the money. And the guy knows how to really push buttons, you know. And he was a snitch. He was a snitch. He was a federal snitch. And the old saying goes that snitches get stitches. It's an old term on the streets, you know. Whether you're in Chicago, New York, or LA, or Philly, or Houston, or Detroit, or Baltimore, or Northwest, you know, Florida, you know, Atlanta, you know, Pittsburgh, all that shit, you know. Tekashi 69 was a known snitch. And right now, is he out of prison? Could be, because he was sentenced to a few years ago. He was sentenced to what, 5 to 7 years for some kind of a crime that was committed. But I don't know if it was a murder or if it was a beating, if it was some kind of shit stain he did. But he got his ass whooped in prison a few times because he was a snitch. He was a known snitch, and he didn't care who knew about it. But someone that did, they wanted to whoop his ass. You know, I mean, rainbow-haired prick. You know, he was a known snitch, and there's people out there that do want to whoop his ass. You know. And I mean, you have rappers like Lil Boosie and King Von, and a lot of these guys that have gang ties that do not know how to get away from that because they've been in it their whole life. And I mean, like for example, King Von, he was a known serial killer. Yeah, he was talented, very talented rap artist, but behind that facade, he was a serial killer. And he'll let you know through some cryptic, you know, things like cereal. He'll eat cereal dry, you know. And he'll want people to know that he was a serial killer. He was a known serial killer. The FBI had that, you know, hey, look, this guy's a serial killer that got away with murder. You know, how many dead bodies he had piled up? Could be as far as 12. You know, I mean, a little Dursky, his friend from Atlanta, even Dursky, what's the name, Little Dursky up there, you know, blonde-haired guy. Even he wouldn't let King Von know where he lives because he knew how nuts he was, you know. And there's a lot of guys that King Von had taken out or had taken out, like FBG Duck, FBG, the other guy's name. There's Duck and there's another guy, the other guy. And he got pretty pissed off when his friend was a T-Roy got a couple rounds, a few rounds into the chest and shit, you know, killed him instantly. There's a lot, man, a lot of insane criminals in the rap game, but also they have gang ties. Suge Knight, he's in prison for life. He ain't getting out. Suge Knight had ties with the Piru Bloods in Compton or L.A. Somewhere there. He played football. And
Talking.
yes,
Call Shane and have him call me, please.
I will.
Bye. Thank you.
It just it's I mean you wouldn't think that rap would get this go from Rubber's Delight to talking about people you buried with a bullet, the genre of rap genres like really go away from the Sugar Hill Gangs, Rubber's Delight to Grandson Story Volume 3 kind of thing, and like I mean it went from kind of like a softcore kind of thing to major league horror film, like horror film genre level of rap. Talk about who you like the bunch of names of people who were fellow rappers that they had bumped off, and they'll talk about the list of names that they had bumped off. It boggles the mind as a listener to music, and some songs you hear are stories. Like for example, there was a song by Twisted Sister that was on the list of the PMRC's list of songs that were mentioning bondage and kind of sadomasochism. When he mentioned the one song was about a band member's fear of going through the surgery, and because you put things in a song like something personal, like something personal happened to you, or something like surgery or whatnot, and you write the lyrics to a song that talk about fear of going through a operation, or fear of loss of a loved one, or like John Denver had a song called Rocky Mountain High, and he was talking about Colorado because he moved to Colorado. That's why he chose the name John Denver, because he loved Colorado. Because Colorado is a very beautiful place, like Utah and Oregon and Oklahoma, Arizona. A lot of these states are like really beautiful scenery, That's why John Denver chose the name John Denver, because of Denver, Colorado. Because Colorado was a beautiful place, great mountains, great scenery, great nature, and and also wrote a song called "Flying on a Jet Plane." I'm leaving on a jet plane. That song was sung by so many people back in the 60s, Peter, Paul, and Mary, Joni Mitchell, Bob Dylan, John Denver. But Tipper Gore's PMRC thought it was about Rocky Mountain High, like drugs. No, it's about the love of Colorado. No. And a lot of these songs too, back, because heavy metal was had some ties to the Satanic Panic. I mean, movies like The Exorcist, The Omen, what else? Rosemary's Baby, um, directed by Polanski, and shit like that. Because heavy metal, like Judas Priest, Ozzy Osbourne, and a couple of bands that had just really they would cherry pick all these different songs and read the lyric and be like, oh my god, put it on the list. But now, lyrics to rap songs now deals with talking about people they took out, talking crap on the deceased. But a lot of things were pretty much because law enforcement, the feds, were on King Von's ass because all these lyrics, the tweets, the Instagrams, all that shit. The feds and local police were like, they were taking these as confessions, inadmissible. They're very admissible because he's confessing. He's confessing to murdering these other people from this area of Chicago before adding more names to the list, like in Atlanta or Nevada. And it did not look good for him because he was a serial killer who beat 3 murder raps before somebody took his life. And Charles White calls him the Kingslayer. And King Von's sister and mom got upset about it because, well, I don't know if Mommy Dearest found out that her baby boy was a known serial killer, and who had 12 names on the list, including one named K.I., 17 years old. And Snuka, who was a 15-year-old kid. And now him and Duck had a rivalry in high school. And like years later, like he wanted to take was it FBG or FGB Duck out, Like if you have any beef from high school, leave it in the past because leave it in the past because don't live in the past. It's always best to move on from the past. It's one thing after another that a lot of great talented hip hop artists are none of them see 50. None of them sees 50. The oldest was like in the mid 40s. The youngest is 15. Between 15 and 45. There's been numerous rappers, male and female, have died mysteriously. Some died of illness like diabetes and cancer, AIDS or whatnot. And some were found mysteriously shot and murdered, but they lived that life. And really don't make any sense, great talented people just do not know how to get away from that gang life because It's their second thing. Gang life comes first, then a rap career. Yeah. There's been like Little Boosie, he's a let's see here. This is the
Chicago saw one of its most violent weekends of the year with more than 60 people shot over the weekend, a third of them under the age of 17. Chicago faces an epidemic of gun violence. This year alone, more than 2,100 people have been shot, more than 400 killed.
We're going to take you now to Chicago, where this past weekend at least 52 people were shot, 8 of them killed in a wave of violence.
This was a couple of years ago, where the death in Chicago outnumbered the deaths in Iraq. Wow.
Across the city.
13. You with that shit, you get that. There's a lot of ways to get caught. Mistaken identity, anything. He ain't got to do with this shit. Just innocent bystanders get killed with this shit every day, man. So you gotta keep it straight. I mean, I like to keep some big shit in case niggas try to be up with the cookies there.
Call Shaq Boy, let the back blood, he bobbing niggas like Osama.
Cray, my young nigga.
K.I., my young killer. A lot of niggas be rapping, but we want some guns, nigga.
EBT ass niggas right here, man.
Boy, took a pill and shoot that kill, boy, this shit super real. Bad I don't know with the Draco and watch what this shit spill. She got super mad when I said I'm from 50 bitch. Say lies.
Jakira Barnes, aka K.I., was born on January 21st, 1997, in Chicago, Illinois, to her mother, Chantel Brown. Before she would even turn 1 year old, she would lose her father. He was shot in the head with an AK-47 in front of his home. Some people say it's because he was a gang leader in the city of Chicago, but K.I.'s mom said that that's not true. K.I. would witness one of her brothers being murdered in front of her when she was very young, and death would become a common theme in her life. She also had a brother by the name of George Barnes, aka G.I. Joe, and they were very close. Growing up, K.I. seemed to be a normal girl. She enjoyed hanging out with her friends. She had boyfriends, and she was an honor roll student. She had dreams of becoming a social worker and helping out less fortunate kids. She attended Perspective IIT, Math and Science Academy, but in the middle of her 9th grade year, there was a change in K.I. Her grades were slipping, she was having behavioral issues at school, and she was spending a lot more time on the block. STL EBT, 63rd, with its most prominent member being Carlton Weekly, aka FBG Duck. K.I. wasn't a shooter at this time, but she would fight girls from rival neighborhoods like TYMB and their biggest rivals, who were basically right across the street at Parkway Gardens, Wick City. But what started as small neighborhood beefs and schoolyard fights were escalating into gunplay, and K.I. would start to lose more and more of her friends. Because on September 22nd, 2010, a 20-year-old man by the name of Jeremy Marshall, aka Lil Fo, was shot to death in the Woodlawn neighborhood. He was the cousin of FBG Kells, a well-respected member of STL EBT. It's said that the killer of Little Fo was Wick City member O.D. Perry, who was growing a reputation in the streets for being a shooter. And just a few months later, on January 12, 2011, K.I. would lose somebody who she was very close to, somebody who she grew up with, Shondell Gregory, a.k.a. Tuka.
That's great. You already.
It's that life that they choose to live. I mean, we have some things here same thing happened here in Fresno. I mean, you got the Bulldog Gang, and you got the Dakota Boys, an Asian gang. Really, really, it's like you can't really get away from that life. When you hear about it on the news, like really, you just shake your head. You know, it's all you can do to shake your head, and it got really bad in the '90s. The '90s was like the crazy decade, you know. 89, a movie called Colors came out with Robert Duvall and Sean Penn. Just really, it was the ground for movies like New Jack City. Almost something in the Hood. Boys in the Hood. You know, a lot of the kind of movies just really glorify gang violence, you know. And there's some that do want to have a good career in the industry, as in being a rapper, or producer, or whatnot. But it seems that they can't really get away from that life, man. You know, you hear about it, you just really just listen, hear about the whole stories and whatnot. So, and you kind of wonder, like, if you don't want to die in that life, I mean, you want to have a career in something like music or radio, you know, or work in the studio and whatnot. But it's like you weigh you weigh it on hip hop career or gang life, and you weigh and you weigh, and it's like you want to do one or the other, but you want to do both. But it's like you can't do both, because one, you're an artist who is writing up some good tunes for an album. One day it could be number one, you know, and or you want to sorry, or you want to live a life where, because when you look at King Von, he was living that gang life, but the way he life was, it was about murdering other fellow rappers. It wasn't about. It was partially about the territory, but the thing is, there's always this butting heads over territory, and also dissing each other in their albums and whatnot. You know, when he killed this young girl, Ki, he rapped about it. He even rapped about taking out FBG Duck. You know, just really knows how to really insult the dead. You know, he said, "I'm a demon." Well, he says, "I can't really stop my thingies." You know, like, like, I mean, someone like that would end up having a target on their back, because there's going to be a lot of people gunning for this dude, or anybody like him. And it's just one thing after another. It's like, well, I'm gonna live a good life. I'm gonna make some money being a rapper. No, look, it seems that they just cannot get away from that life. That Dursky guy, he did an album with. He collaborated with. Both paid off some people to take other people out. That Dursky guy, he's looking at life in prison. King Von's gone. He ain't coming back. His mom and sisters are like just living because they don't like anybody speaking the truth about the guy. He got what he deserved. To be honest, I mean, he has fans, but his fans know what he did because they hear his music. They hear his music on people that he had murdered, And when you do that, it's called drill rap, and it's gangster rap on steroids. It's gangster rap on fucking steroids, man. Straight up. And talented guy, very talented guy, very talented rap artist, very talented. But the thing is, he was a known serial killer. He killed people. Not just in Chicago, but in Atlanta and Nevada. I mean, if you have beef with somebody, keep it in the past. Don't try to have them killed years later. I mean, the whole drill rap genre right there is about murdering somebody and then writing lyrics for the album about it. And still dissing people, the ones that are now deceased, That's complete disrespect. But also, the most dissing is digging up your victim's grave and laughing about it, Complete disrespect, man. You have no heart, no soul, no backbone. Completely lost your fucking mind, man, And it's just that it's really complex because, again, I'm a big fan of radio, big fan of hip hop a little bit, I know. I have my favorites. The old school. I'm saying old school, like the Sugar Hill Gang, Grandmaster Flash, and the Magnificent Seven, Beastie Boys, Third Base, MC Hammer, Public Enemy, Ice Cube. I mean, just that Public Enemy, Tupac. But you don't see heavy metal guys shank each other or shoot each other. It's just a piercing brawl, fisting, Using your fist is like always a manly thing to do. It's like, I'm gonna knock this fucker's lights out, But I mean, you don't see anybody shooting each other. I mean, you don't see Vince Neil try to shoot at Kid Rock or no. You don't see Peter Chris wanting to shoot out at Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons. No, I mean, you don't see Dee Snider wanting to shoot out at Sebastian Bach. No. You don't see Lemmy, a Motorhead, wanting to kick the crap out of Ozzy Osbourne. No, they're all good buddies, Only thing mysteriously out of the one thing. Hey, chill! Hey, get up there! Only thing. Shut up. Only thing mysterious that ever come out of rock and roll was grunge rock. Mysterious death of Kurt Cobain. Will you shut the fuck up? Calm down. Chill out. Shut up. Shut up. Kurt Cobain was found mysteriously deceased in Seattle in '94. That was 30 years ago. And will you shut up? Sam Cooke. He was murdered, and his death has to do with his royalties, man. His royalties, and he started his own label, and wanted to get into producing other talent, and he was shot and killed, and I mean, a lot of talented people, even back in the old days, back at that time, were very talented, mysteriously, and most of the time it was run by the mob, And now you have gangbangers running the show now, and their own labels, and just really like for example, you got Suge Knight, who ran Death Row Records, and you had pedophile P. Diddy running Bad Boy Records, and so complete rivalry, the East Coast West Coast rivalry of the 1990s that led to the death of Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls. Just really two talented guys, very talented guys, legends. Nobody can touch these guys, like lyrically. No one can touch their boots, Tupac and Biggie, because these two guys are legends that this generation of rappers can even touch that level of, Tupac was a poet. He was a poet, a conscious poet, well loved, still loved by fans, Rappers today can't even reach that level of Tupac's level. Sorry, I mean, to be honest, Tupac is the Machiavelli. He's the hip hop's Machiavelli. Just very talented guy, man. Yeah. True legend, man. True legend, man. But a lot of these talented artists, in whether it's hip hop or rock or blues or jazz or what you call it, always have that it's always a great loss, man. Great loss. Controversy, like as in Billie Holiday's song "Strange Fruit," which really touched the nerves of every racist piece of shit out there. Talk about lynching, Strange Fruit. Was a song about lynching. Two people she knew were lynched, and the ones that did lynching weren't not prosecuted. And she's told that she sung the song, should be arrested. Well, fuck that. Sing it, Yeah. She died of a drug overdose, and very, very, very talented woman, Billie Holiday, but in today's time, I mean, you have Sexy Red, that chick, Charles White really hit out of the ballpark on her, man. Really hit out of the ballpark. Really calling her out for being, a worse thing for, women, and Sexy Red. I mean, Charles White found this footage of her with the thing on her mouth, and it says, "You gotta stop eating asses, man. Gotta stop eating asses." And fucking amen, But I mean, there's some times where you hear about these beefs, and it's like, man, when can they put their shit aside and actually get back to work and make an album, man? Stop talking about someone you bumped off or had someone bumped off. I mean, all you're doing is putting a target on your back, man. Like shit, and fuck. I would rather listen to Ice Spice over Sexy Red. I would rather listen to Ice Spice over Cardi B any day, man. I mean, shit. I've heard her a couple times. Not bad at all. Cardi B admitted to seducing guys and robbing them. She's a blood, a New York blood. I mean, she ain't bad looking, but fuck, man. It seems she appears more on the Buddhism hotline than anything else, man. Because Jonathan Hill's like, once he sees those Cardi B titties, he's like, or that ass. It's just that she is talented, but the thing is, it's very hard to ever see a stripper become a rapper. I mean, Nicki Minaj did it. Cardi B did it. I mean, yeah, what? Ice Spice did it. She was a stripper at one time. Sexy Red was what? A neighborhood hoe becoming a rapper. I didn't know a hoe can be an activist while rapping. Because that thing on her lip is like, chick need to stop eating ass. Because stop eating ass, So it's funny how Charles White put it, like, man, this bitch needs to stop eating ass. No wonder, man. Shit, fuck, All right, guys, this is good old Reverend Ordo here, and this has been the Anonymous Manawati Sec. If new to this channel, please leave a like, subscribe, comment below, hit the bell for notification. Always live healthy, happy, and wise. I love you guys. See you all in the next video. Peace out. Godspeed. And Buddha bless. Ciao.